Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whenever you come across this video, thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I love you guys so much. Sorry, the allergies are intense right now. So I'm going to be a little sniffly. I do apologize. But anyways, thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscribes. Everyone who's booking, making purchases off the website, pledges to the Patreon, sending things to the P.O. Box, purchases off the wish list, and tipping the Clarissa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you so much. If you need anything from me, that's in the description box below. Okay. So I was guided to do this pick a card on what is the blockage. They're telling me that there is a blessing. They actually called it a sweet little treat. Sweet little treat. There's a sweet little treat coming. You know, don't get, big things come in little packages. Okay, so, or great things come in small packages or something. I don't know. Anyways, there's a sweet little treat, and but there could be maybe some sort of like blockage. It's probably they're telling me like mental. So this is like maybe some sort of programming or thought process that you have, something like that. So we're going to do a pick a card. We're going to get 3 piles, whatever you feel most guided to. Choose that pile and we'll get your messages. Okay, pile 1. I got flipped out in reverse, which is, I don't usually take these in reverse, but okay, 3. Alright, so with gather your nuts. Alright then. Interesting. Okay, pile 1 is this grow belonging. Okay, pile 2 is always settle for more. And pile 3 is this honor your wisdom here. So I'll give you just, a couple seconds here to, you can pause it if you need to, take a deep breath, close your eyes, whatever you feel most drawn to. That will be your pile. Pile 1. If you chose this grow belonging here, some of you, with this flipping out in reverse, some of you, the blockage is actually like where you are, your location. Some of you may be moving. And that may not be like something that's in your control. It may be for some of you. Some of you, it's like you know that it's time to like relocate or something like that. And there's a little bit of resistance. But for others of you, it's like you've been trying to relocate and you're not having any luck. Now with that kind of also gives me, especially with this grow belonging coming out reverse, there are some of you that are trying to leave a situation that you're actually meant to overcome and stay where you are. So that was confusing because there's all these different, 4 of Wands. Some of you, I feel like that could be, for a lot of you, it's like there's a situation you may be worried about or running from or something, rather than planting your roots, right, 10 toes down, and growing where you are. But let's see, let's get further into it. For pile 1, please, what's the blockage for pile 1, grow belonging? What's the blockage? Yeah, and then there's also, again, for others of you, there's like you're outgrowing an environment, right? That's a lot. Some of you, it's also too this energy of like kind of feeling stuck in your environment, like I said, unsure of how a way out, I guess, but feeling like you need out. We have the Eight of Swords, the Sun, the Knight of Cups, the King of Swords, Two of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. For some of you, there's maybe an energy that you could have planted seeds with in the past. That you may still be holding on to, or may still be holding on to you here. There's something about your intuition, though, and kind of what's coming. Like your High Priestess with the Three of Wands. This is somebody who's very wise, who is able to see deeply here. Tell me more. What are we talking about here? With this grow belonging, what's the blockage? Yeah, this could be somebody, it doesn't have to be romantic, but it feels like some of you, there's like this, yeah, some of you are waiting on somebody else to see your growth. You know, you're waiting on somebody else to see your growth, and you're waiting on somebody else to look past the past and to start maybe a new cycle with you. I feel like this is not romantic for a lot of you, that it's actually platonic family, something like that. And this is actually like blockage, because it's like you're... it's like, say for instance, you're like, I don't know, a video game or something, and you complete a level, and you just stay at the end of that level until, you know, waiting for this person to acknowledge you or validate that you completed that level before you go on to the next one. That's what this feels like. I feel like this person... King of Swords energy, I don't feel like they are capable of giving this to you. You know, this is somebody who's very dry and cut. I don't think that they're very logical. They're very, you know what I'm saying? And so there's this energy of... you know, maybe preventing yourself from growing or going to the next level. Because, yeah, either you're... and it feels subconscious, you know what I mean? Okay, tell me more. What's the blockage? Pile 1. A lot of Swords energy here. We have the Star, the Queen of Swords, Page of Swords, the Two of Swords. Yeah, there's something about approval. There's something about validation. There's something about, it's almost like making decisions based on what other people would approve or want for you, or, you know, something like that. There's something, and this doesn't have to be conscious for everyone. It could totally be subconscious. But this also too, there's an energy of like some of you, they're giving me this space where it's like you maybe plant a lot of seeds, but they don't grow to fruition, or they don't grow for very long or something like that, and it's because you're planting seeds that accommodate others. It's not a genuine thing from you. There's still a space of kind of like tiptoeing around others, or wanting to make sure that others feel comfortable, with your life choices and the life that you choose to live. And I think this is something that over the process we slowly evolve out of, right? You know, because it takes time. Especially if these are people that held some sort of important position in your life, right? Like parent, grandparent, could be like a teacher or a boss, or something along those lines. But it's like something like that as well. Okay. Final messages for pile one on what is the blockage for this grow belonging. We'll use this. Sorry, guys. Okay. What is the blockage for this grow belonging here? Yeah, could be a boss. Look, jealousy and envy. Yeah, some of you it's like you're afraid to bloom because you know that there are energies that, yeah, achievement. Yeah, there's somebody that's jealous and envious of an achievement here. This person may be having some sort of health concerns, okay? Yeah, this is an energy. Lola Young, that song Messy's coming through. She's like, because I'm too messy, and then I'm too fucking clean. Excuse my language. You told me get a job, and you ask where the hell I've been, right? And at the end of the chorus, she says, 1,000 people I could be, and you hate all of them. That's this energy. This is the blockage. It's a programming that's kind of built inside of you that has you constantly chasing whoever this is, their approval. They must be somebody of very, very great significance, okay? Because truly it's and I feel like you're getting to the point where, like I said, you're slowly working out of this, but this may be kind of looping back around to release a little bit more of this as well, because that's what it is. And you may need to know that a lot of this person's judgment, or their the reason why they act this way, or can never give you the validation, or the nurturing, or the acknowledgement, or the that you need and that you deserve is because they have some sort of jealousy and envy here, from, from a space of their lacking, right? You may trigger them in some type of way, or, but yeah. Yeah. Anyways, pile one. This is the blockage, okay? So I would definitely, check in on that. But yeah, that's what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. I love you very much, and we'll see you next time. All right, pile two. If you chose this, always settle for more. This is going to be your reading on what is the blockage here. Card number 44. All right. So when this card first came out, I picked up on an energy of, I feel like you have placed almost like a glass ceiling on some sort of expectations of, something here. What you deserve, where you're going in life, things like that. And there is some sort of blockage with that. It's like an energy, they're giving me this like energy where it's like hard to see past. Like if you grew up, struggling in life, right? Your parents were struggling, or there was not a lot, I don't know, within lack or things like that. It's hard to imagine a life outside of those, parameters, outside of that kind of box, right? And it's kind of easy to see, like, maybe like the next level up, or like, maybe if you've I don't know, there's something about experiences or things, or I don't know, that you could never have imagined here, okay? Is what I feel like you're aligning with. But there's some sort of like limitations that you have put on yourself here. So let's see. What's the blockage for pile 2? Always settle for more. Yeah, the star. The sun. Whoa. The 8 of Wands. Yeah, this is like exciting stuff happening, right? This is like, I feel like there's some sort of travel involved. There's some sort of, this feels like a very luxurious lifestyle here, okay? Kind of living the dream. Yeah, 4 of Wands. But what is the blockage? What is the blockage then? The blockage may be a lack of contentment. It could be that while it's really great that you're always like going after more and chasing more, and there is this energy of like missing what's happening now, because you may be like looking for more in some type of way here, okay? Tell me more about this. What's the blockage for pile 2, please? This is like there's resistance because it's like you're waiting on it, right? So it's putting out this energy that it's not, that you don't have it, and so therefore you don't have it, you know? That's kind of what's going on. And so there's like this space where I feel like pile 2, you're surrounded by like abundance is what I really feel like, if you kind of really take a moment and, you know, and abundance isn't just like money, right? Like it's like, you know, maybe there was a moment I had this morning, this kind of reminded me, where I was like, you know, looking through a drawer for something, actually, for glue, because I broke my glasses, and they still need to be repaired, but anyways, moving forward. And there was like things in this drawer that I was pulling out, and I was like thanking my past, my old self, because it's like, oh cool, look at all these things, right? Like there's something about pile 2, like the blockage is that you're waiting. You know what I mean? Like there's an energy of like waiting rather than like just enjoying what you have now. And I know that's hard, right? Because that's kind of human nature to, you know, always be like, you know, but, and it's good to take steps towards the next goals and to create, you know, next goals and things like that. But there's something about like your mind constantly like being focused on that, right? Like it's like it constantly running. It's like a constant program that's like running, that is like preventing you from kind of enjoying what you've already created, kind of enjoying where you are on this journey. Or, you know, not to say that, I don't know why I said it that way, but where you are on the journey, right? Like there's something about that. So, let's see if we can get into that a little bit further here. Yeah, because there are Ace of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, that's 9 Pentacles. That's, you know, there are good things, you know, coming. There's more abundance coming. You know, there's this stability and ships coming in and things like that. You know, we have the 8 of Wands, the 10 of Cups. But it's like, yeah, there's just this energy of, taking your mind off of, there's like an energy of like where sometimes you may be really focused on all the things that you haven't accomplished, or all the things that you haven't done, or the goals that you haven't achieved, and you need to shift your focus on like all the things that you have, all the things, you know, where you are now. That's, and again, this is like human nature, so it's like this is just a part of your ascension, right? This doesn't make you necessarily like a negative person or like a greedy person or anything like that, right? It just is the way society has brought us up in this like hustle mentality and this go, 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 more, more. And with that, then we don't really finish projects, or we've got, you know, random stuff in a junk drawer that it's like, oh, totally forgot about that, right? Like, you know, there's value in that, like, you know, things like that pile too. So there's nothing wrong with you per se, but this is just a societal program, you know, a program that society has like created and like projected onto the world. So this is what the blockage is here. And it could also be to, something that like was big in your family, because I do have the Star and the Ten of Pentacles here, right? So your family could have been very like monetarily focused, or focused on like, physical things, and, stuff like that. They could have, I'm getting this sense, where there's, they determined, they used monetary things, physical things, to determine worth. And so that could also be a programming that's kind of tied in here. That's also a society thing. But again, it could have been a big deal in your family, or things like that. This is the blockage, okay? All right, tell me more for pile 2 on what is the blockage. So that, they're kind of taking me back, right? If there's this energy, this programming that says, well, you're not valuable unless if you have X, Y, and Z, right? So then where are your motives coming from while you're chasing X, Y, and Z? Are they coming from because you want them? Or are they coming from gaining some sort of approval, or you getting your flowers, or getting, if it's not approval, it's like seeing your own value, right? You may feel like you don't have value unless if, right? Unless if. And it's like, I feel like the divine may be like wanting you to take a minute and see that in this current moment you are extremely valuable. Even at your weakest and your worst moment, you are and were extremely valuable. All right, what's the blockage? Pile 2, please. Yeah, there could be like certain expectations, right, that your family has, right? Maybe there's, high achievers, right? Or it's kind of giving that energy of like mom and dad are a doctor, so I guess I better be a doctor. They want me to be a doctor, so or something like that, right? Or even if it's not like, maybe mom's a doctor, dad's a lawyer, and you want to be an artist. That doesn't really, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like there's, and I don't, yeah. Okay, so we have boss, we have destruction. What's the blockage, please? Pile 2. Let me get one more row on these. This was a situation for sure. Oh, hold on. For some reason, too, there could be a situation here, pile 2, where somebody could have been like, yeah, we have a message. Somebody could have been like saying that you're like a scam, or that you are, I don't know. Uh, like a thief, or I feel like there were some pretty serious accusations here, okay, to try to bring some sort of destruction. I don't know what this has to, you could have already experienced this, and this could be like also part of this blockage, right? Um, yeah, kind of this energy of like having to prove yourself, trying to prove yourself. There's some sort of programming when it comes to it's almost like feeling like you could, once you are at a certain position, then you are, you've proven yourself that you are, you know what I mean? Because I feel like there's some like, accusations kind of going on in the background, or assumptions, or, things like that here. Okay? But I feel like, this message is really kind of giving this energy of this is clearing up. And it may very well be because you are releasing, or you're, it's like once you see your own value for where you, and where you are, how far you've brought yourself, right? Find that contentment with where you are, obviously without growing complacent, right? We never want to do that, but we also want to be present. We don't want to keep projecting our mind into, the future that hasn't even come yet, right? And so I feel with this shift, with you seeing your value in your current position, where you currently are in life, I feel like this also manifests externally as well. This I feel like is going to turn you into a magnet, if I'm being honest, pile 2. Okay? So, yeah. Anyways, okay. That's a blockage, my dear, my darling. If you need anything from me, that's in the description box below. I love you dearly, and we'll see you next time. Pile 3. All right. Honor your wisdom, card number 17, which is actually an 8. Whoa, all of these cards add up to 8. 26, 8, 44, 8, 17, 8. This is an 888 message. Holy cow. Okay, that might be very significant for you, pile 3, because I just noticed it, literally. Okay. Dope. All right. Pile 3. Honor your wisdom with this. What is the blockage here? When we're talking about blockages, and this honor your wisdom comes out, it makes me feel like there's some sort of doubt. You could have some sort of doubt within yourself, within where you're headed, within, they're telling me like, your ability to rely on the universe here, okay? You're really building your trust at this time, okay? Yeah, so let's see, what are the blockages for pile 3? I'm also picking up too, it's there's an energy of, I don't know what that noise was. let me look at something. Okay, so I wanted to double check. Owls predominantly, they don't fly in flocks. They they do things solitary or like with their little babies, right? Hold on, let me handle him. Sorry, guys. Anyways, okay, so what I was getting at is there's this energy where I feel like honor your wisdom when you may be doubting yourself when it comes to people, okay? And you may be like, man, I feel like I'm just like, pile 3, I say this in the most humblest of ways, that you have a very unique energy, a very unique outlook on life, a very special frequency, and not everyone is an owl. You know what I mean? Also, not everyone is, on that same frequency. So there's this energy of like doubting yourself when it comes to other people, or the energy that you allow, the what I feel like is the energy that you give permission to be in your energy, right? Something like that. Blockage may be doubting yourself when it comes to this. Okay. What's the blockage? Pile 3. Honor your wisdom. Yeah, you may just be very you may give a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, 6 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. A lot. You may give a lot. And, it's very important for you, because it's like there are people, places, and things that see that and they will take. And so the blockage is you may still be giving in certain areas that are just taking, okay? Yeah. You have got to trust yourself, pile 3. Because I also feel like, too, for some of you, there's somebody that's like, you're giving to, and they're taking that energy and, I don't know, using it in some type of way, giving it to some sort of lower vibrational something or other here, okay? Yes, you have got to honor your wisdom when it comes to people, places, and things. Basically, the blockage is you doubting yourself, ultimately, okay? And giving too much to takers. 38 when I looked up. Okay, what else for pile 3? What is the blockage? And again, I say this in the most humble way, but not everyone deserves to be in your energy. Now, when we think about like great ascended masters like Yeshua, right? You often found him with those who were, in poverty and, things like that. But they also had an affinity and a love for change, right? Like the disciples, they changed, they grew, they evolved. So it's not to say that you can't, like that it's like you can't stereotype, right? But you need to look at the energy. Honor your wisdom when it comes to people's energy and their intentions towards you, right? There could be somebody who is an energy thief, but they're very well off and things like that, and you may assume that because they you know, have certain things, run certain businesses, have a certain occupation, you know, that they, you know, have good intentions, but your wisdom is saying no, 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 right? You have got to trust your higher self, your intuition when it comes, because you are seeing past the flesh. You are seeing past the world here, okay? And you're seeing into a deeper level beyond this human experience when it comes to the energy of others. And so it's very, very important that you trust your wisdom, okay? I'm telling you. Because there are people in certain positions that are wanting to, you know, take from you. They're wanting to take from you. And I think you know that. Meanwhile, there are other people in other positions, okay, that desire your wisdom, you know, to you know, listen and gain wisdom, and you know, listen to your wisdom and your message, and you know, or if it's even not like that, it's just that honor your frequency, and you know, they yeah, but because of the position that you hold and who you are and things like that, there are definitely going to be people, places, things, energies that come towards you that are, you know, going to try to, like, you know, try that tug of war type of thing with you. And so, you know, you may be going through some tests right now, some trials when it comes to certain energies coming towards you, right? The divine might be, you know, because there's some energies that can be very tricky, okay? So it's, you know, very important that you trust yourself and you don't doubt yourself, okay? And, you know, I know a lot of times we want to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? We want to look at the potential and things like that. But you've got to trust yourself. You've got to see past it here, okay? All right, pile 3. What is the blockage here? Hi, handsome. Hold on. We'll go check again in just a minute. He wants to go OUT, but the neighbors are OUT right now. I'm almost finished here, Bubby. Okay. Yeah, because there are a lot of, you know, people that are mentally and emotionally, you know, unstable. And it's no hate or shade or anything, you know, to those people, but but again, takers will take. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are, and you've got to make sure that you've got to honor your wisdom and create these boundaries here. Okay. All right. What's the blockage for pile 3, please? They're pulling that way. So, there's something about, you know, significance, pile 3, about a child here, okay? And maybe, you know, the purpose of this child's life, or you and this child's life, or something like that here. Okay. Yeah, but we have this, so we have soulmate, we have child, we have high honor, we have achievement, we have family, we have ancestors, we have awakening, and we have gift, right? Gift. Okay. This almost makes me feel like you are even surprising the ancestors here with your gifts, with your wisdom, with your ability to, yeah. But this wisdom comes from like a long line, right? This is also too about this is also too about your journey. Okay, some of you, it's like the way that you move through life is way different. Okay, and there may be people like children or family or, you know, things like that, maybe even like the government, not to say you need to break any laws, but there's something about, you know, this could also just be society, about the way that you navigate your journey. And it's very important that you honor your wisdom. Do not doubt yourself. Do not doubt your path. Okay. Continue following your internal guidance, following your wisdom, your intuition. Okay, because it's leading you, you know, somewhere, right? And again, you may be kind of doubting yourself, because there could be some uncertainty or things that are like kind of coming up. Yeah, but this, I feel like pile three, there's really not much more to say, other than your path is different. Continue on this different path. Continue moving differently than, you know, however you feel guided to do so, right? And a lot of times it looks different than, you know, expectations and things like that. Um, Continue trusting your wisdom, honoring your wisdom, trusting your intuition, um, especially when it comes to people. Okay? Okay. Anyways, that's what I have for you. If you need anything from me, that's in the description box below. We'll see you later.